Exchange.
What's up, guys? Your boy Russ again, back with another one. Right now I'm just chilling in B. I'm gonna tell you guys my morning. So got up, took the wife to work because we wanted to get the brakes changed on the Scat, because when you get up to highway speeds and then you start braking, there's a little vibration. So I'm like, okay, it must be the pads, you know, it's about 23,000 miles on the car. So I figure it's just the pads, you know, they've been wore down, this, that, and the third. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna take it up there to see about getting the pads, you know, changed, to get some fresh pads. So I take it up there. I'm told, hey, your pads got good life on them. It's actually your rotors. Your rotors are warped. Now, in my mind, as much as these cars are meant to, you know, take a beating and, you know, just handle a lot of, you know, hard braking, all that. And I understand people gonna say, oh, with 23,000 miles, rough miles, yeah, that's hard on your brakes, because I know you're going fast, braking, whatever. That's all fine and dandy, but to me, like, you shouldn't be able to warp your brakes so soon. You know what I mean? Unless you're like overcooking them. You know, you're cooking them because you're doing like something crazy. I don't believe I've did anything to the extent or crazy enough for this to happen to my rotors. So to me, I don't really want to just, you know, go out there and jump out on a limb and get crazy about Dodge, but I feel as though Dodge got to do a better job at putting a better product on these vehicles. You know what I mean? If I came in with 35,000, 30,000, 35 miles on the car, then I can understand, you know, that's a lot of braking, wear and tear on your car, this, that, and the third. A couple times I did play around in this car. It shouldn't have been enough to warp my rotors, if you get what I'm saying. If anything, it should have just ate my pads up. So it's just crazy. Like, high-end cars, man, I get it, the ceramic rotors, they don't last that long and all that, but they're meant to take a beating, you know, because a lot of people with those high-end cars, like, they track their cars. So, you know, such as Porsches and everything. I know a bunch of dudes that take them on the Nürburgring, and, you know, they cook the hell out of them brakes. But it's just crazy to me. So they quoted me $500 per rotor. So that's $1,000 for the rotors. Let's just be generous. Let's say $150 for you know, their cost for, you know, putting it on. $150 an hour, you know what I mean, service charge. So it's like, let's say what it takes, about 2 hours to change the brakes. Let's say 2 hours, so it's about 300 bucks. Let's add on taxes. Let's say taxes are 100, 150 or something. So what we looking at is a $1,500 brake job, just to change the rotors on the car. Like, not even the pads. Like, I know they're gonna say you need new pads, but I'm not really too concerned with the pads, because, like, I can get some Z26 power stops, but not that much. They like 100 something bucks or whatever. So it's like, I don't really care about the pads, because I want to cross over to the ceramic pads anyway. But this is crazy. Like, I'm telling you, these cars, man, they find a way to get some money out of you. And this is what we buy them for, you know, to beat on them, do whatever, you know, mod them, whatever. But something like this so soon, like, I didn't see this happening. I just want you guys to be aware of what can happen if you get these cars, man. They're not cheap to switch out the brakes and rotors. You know, oil changes ain't that bad. They're about 100-something bucks. You can find them less somewhere, like 100 bucks, 80, 90, whatever. But mine is about 130, I think, to change the oil on my Hellcat, and might be around the same for this car. But I just want you guys to understand that you're gonna have to pay for the maintenance on these things, and you know, it's something I gotta do. You can best believe that I'm calling Chrysler to see if like they can work with me, because I'm scheduled to take it in next week. You can best believe I'm gonna try to get them to work with me on this price, because I'm not paying $1,500 for my rotors to be changed and all that. So they're either gonna cover it, or I'm gonna try to get them to freaking negotiate with me on the price. Like, they go half, I go half, or something. Because to me, like I said, like, my wife drives this daily. She probably put about, I don't even know how many miles on the car, because, you know, I had the Hellcat for the last 7 months. So it's like, I've been driving the Hellcat, putting miles on that. I got about 15,000 miles on the Hellcat. So there's no way she been doing like crazy driving or whatever on this car to do that to them brakes. So it ain't no way. So I'm saying they need to work with me on this overall price when I take it back to the dealer next week, for them to, you know, do their test, you know, look at the brakes, everything, and see where we go from there. So once again, I just want to make this quick little vlog with you guys, man, just to talk about, like, you need to be aware of all the costs that come with having a car like this, or it's worse on a Hellcat. Like, you guys gotta understand, on my Scatpack, I don't even have the 6-piston Brembos. I have the 4-piston Brembos in the front. So it's like, that alone is, you know, cheaper than a Hellcat or a 392 or Scat with the upgraded brakes. You're gonna pay, I think the rotor is about $1,500 a piece for the 6-piston. So we talking like a $3,000-$4,000 brake job, you know, on a Hellcat, and I'm definitely not looking forward to that. Like, you know what I mean? So there's other brake companies out there, but like, everybody swears by Brembo. But I see other brands that has you know, slotted and drilled and all that. I'm not too sure if I would switch over. I'll probably just keep running my Brembos. But man, these things can get costly, guys. So make sure while you're modding your cars and things of that nature, you also put money to the side just for your general maintenance. You know what I mean? I would say put at least $4 grand aside for just maintenance. And I ain't saying maintenance every year. I'm just saying, just in case things like this come up. Normal driving people, they probably gonna, you know, do a brake job every 2 years or something. So that's $4 grand, $2 grand a year. You know what I mean? That you could put away, you know, for something like this. So I mean, it just depends on how hard you drive your car, what you do to your car, etc., etc. Obviously, like, I drive my car like it's meant to be driven. You know, all the testing and everything they did on these Scats and these Hellcats, it's like, I'ma drive the car how it's meant to be driven. So that's my opinion, that's my attitude on the whole thing. But if you're a normal everyday driver, you don't do none of the crazy stuff, you don't do none of the car scene, whatever, like, you should be fine. Like, you shouldn't be your car shouldn't require that much maintenance, because you're driving normal, you know, you're doing the speed limit, you're not any kind of crazy hard braking except in like emergency braking. So you'll be fine on that tip. But everybody get in their mind this idea like, oh, I want a Scatpack, I want a Hellcat. And you don't understand what comes with it when you're out there doing the crazy stuff. So all those dudes that be out there swinging, and, you know, no, I'm not dissing them at all, because that's entertaining to me. I know it's entertaining to a lot of you guys when you see the guys out there swinging the cars and all that. But you gotta understand, that's putting a lot of wear and tear and a lot of stress on your car. So I'm not into that. Plus, I'm not into replacing my tires. You know what I mean? I got the Nitto 555 G2s on here. and I think they were about 3 something per tire. I got the 305s in the rear, 275s in the front. So these are not cheap tires. On the Hellcat, I got the Pirellis. They about 3 something per tire. I'm gonna be switching those out. I just haven't decided which route I'm gonna go, which brand I'm gonna go with. Whether or not I'm gonna just get a whole different set of wheels, put new tires on that, and just swap the wheels. But it's getting ready to get cold over here, you know, in Maryland. So I'm looking to probably get some Blizzaks and put it on a car for as a winter tire on both cars. So I might grab 2 sets of rears and put them on the car just for the winter. But I did want to go with the NT05s or the 555 Rs, the R2s. I thought about getting those for the Hellcat, but there's no point if it's getting ready to get cold outside and there's nothing I can do with a radial on the streets when it's cold. So that's more for summertime driving, track driving. So I don't like spending all that money on tires. Like, tires are not cheap. So if anybody think tires are cheap, you must be getting some cheap tires. Like, I'm not going with no disrespect to Toros or none of those other tires, but it's like I'm not buying some cheap tires, cheap $150 tires to throw on my car. Like, I care about traction. Like, it's not about just having a tire on your car. Like, you know what I mean? It's just about traction to me. So I know I'm sitting here looking regular with my hoodie on, whatever, but yeah, I'm just chilling. This is a chill day. I'm off. So, like, I want you guys to understand, like, once again, like, you're gonna pay to play. Like, if you want a cheap car with cheap maintenance, but you still kind of want to go fast, man, go invest in a Honda. They're lightweight. You can do all kind of motor swaps. It's way cheaper than doing these big muscle cars, you know what I mean? Because everything costs on these things. It's so computerized and everything does this, that, third. It's kind of hard to work on the cars yourself unless you're a true mechanic and you know exactly what you're doing. And me, I am not a mechanic. I don't like working on my car. Like, I'll do little things, I'll add little touches to the car myself, but I genuinely do not like doing mechanic work on my car. Like, I don't do my own oil changes. I don't do any type of maintenance on my vehicles. You know what I mean? Because to me, I just don't have the patience for it. I get frustrated. I'm throwing tools. I'm smashing my fingers. I'm doing all kinds of stuff. So it's like, I'd rather pay somebody to do it. Or I might have a homeboy or two who know how to do it, and I'll help them, you know, with doing whatever I want to do to my vehicles. So unless you're mechanically sound, it's gonna be rough out there, you know, paying people to do what you need done in your vehicles. So just have that in mind, guys, like, that it's gonna cost you when you get into a car like this. You know, any trim level from even a 5.7, I say a 5.7 on up, like, it's gonna cost you in some way with these cars, whether it's brakes, rotors, oil change, you know, things like that. Like, it's gonna cost you. So I just want you guys to be aware. I know everybody is real big into this Mopar scene, and you love it, you love seeing it, you love driving the cars, they're dope, etc., etc. Like, they are not cheap. But I will say this to almost like finish this thing off is, I'd rather pay, you know, for the maintenance and all the costs that come with this car and with my Hellcat than to be paying the cost of the maintenance and everything that comes with a foreign car, such as like a M5, M3, C63, E63, S63, like RS7, like all these cars, like they're upper end, high-end performing cars. Like, I wouldn't want to pay the maintenance on those. So I'm kind of blessed that, yes, it's costing a little bit to deal with this car and my Hellcat, but it's not as bad as those cars. I mean, they're super dope cars, and shoot, I wish I could afford one, but I can't. You know what I mean? I mean, I could if I didn't have both cars, but that's neither here nor there. But yeah, you just got to be careful, man, with your selection of cars. So remember that. But yeah, this is gonna wrap this one up, guys. I don't want to talk your ears off. Like I said, I just want you guys to be aware of the maintenance costs, especially when it comes to the brakes and rotors on these type of vehicles. So if you're new to the channel, go ahead and smash that like button, subscribe, turn on that notification bell to stay up to date with all the new content. Peace.